By quitting 3 bad money habits, my relationship with money and with myself started to change. I learned to value my time better, I learned to become more confident in myself, and more especially, I feel like I'm in the driver's seat of my finances. I used to feel like money controlled me, and now I don't. Not too long ago, I used to have this habit where I would be up so late scrolling on the internet on different shopping websites like Abercrombie, Hollister. I would spend hundreds of dollars in buying all these things that I thought I needed to feel pretty, to feel beautiful, to feel valued, because that was what it made me feel like I needed to do in order to feel confident or valued or have that self-esteem. But in reality, that was not the case. Basically, I learned how to consciously spend my money. The idea behind conscious spending is basically knowing where your money goes. So it doesn't matter what you're purchasing, but this isn't about budgeting up to the $2 that you're spending or keeping track in your Excel sheet, but more so figuring out, how much can you budget in your entertainment, in your luxurious lifestyle, or the things that you enjoy, and really sticking to that kind of budget without having to track every single thing that you're buying or even feeling guilty when you do spend on these things. Back in 2020, my partner and I decided to buy a condo, and this is the condo that we're living in right now. And it required a large down payment. We saved up about $50,000 in about 6 months, and we did that because we had the ability to do so. We both had good working jobs, and we both lived in our parents' house, so it was pandemic, there was lockdown, there was nothing to do, we couldn't travel, we couldn't go in restaurants, we couldn't basically spend money, so we just saved that money up. So we got a new house and we got all these brand new furnitures, and after spending on these large purchases, I realized how important it is to spend on quality versus quantity. So from then on, I kind of just stopped buying random clothes. I probably buy like high quality clothing once every 6 months, if not up to a year, if it's something that I really need. I'm actually trying to get rid of all the clothes that I haven't used in the past 6 months now, so that's why my area is a little bit messy. I try my best to only spend on things that really bring me fulfillment, and that pretty much includes like traveling, online courses these days, because I kind of see it as an investment in myself and my future, so that I can learn how to get out of the healthcare system so that I can work for myself, and those other things that feel like it's going to give me some sort of return on investment, whether that's financial or health-wise, or feeling like I'm living up to my standards. If there's one thing that I regret in life, and I don't regret many things, is that I didn't learn about investing sooner. I basically learned the basics of investing after we had bought this condo, which is only about 2 years ago in 2020. And because we had some extra cash, because we had already had the down payment, we figured out the mortgage payments, and I was working full-time and my husband was also working full-time, we had some extra cash that we know we wanted to invest in stock market, except I didn't know how to. So I started doing some research and do a little bit of experimenting. So I remember my very first stock that I bought was Pinterest, because at the time I was on Pinterest a lot. I wanted to design our condo and I wanted to see what kind of vision I had, and I figured, you know what, if people are going to be in the pandemic and they're using a lot of Pinterest to get ideas, I bet that this stock is going to get better, or it's going to increase, and it did for a while. So that was my very first experience when buying a stock. But I'm not a financial advisor. You should not take my advice on this money investing thing, because I'm just experimenting. I have that luxury to kind of play with the stock market or invest in all these different things like ETFs, index funds, mutual funds, those things that I know might seem like a very big words right now, but if you spend a day or two or a week just get familiarizing yourself with the terms, really help a lot. It's not as scary as you think. I thought it was very scary to invest, but in reality, you just need a little bit of time to be immersed into the world of investment. You can learn on how to invest or how to create wealth, build wealth, that kind of thing. There's a lot of YouTube channels out there who give this information for free, and they spend more time doing research and experimenting with their own money so that they can help people like you and I. If you want to build wealth and achieve financial freedom, you need to learn how money works. You need to learn how to save up, budget, invest, how taxation works. All of this, there's no way around it. You have to be really comfortable with money, especially if your goal is to be financially free. So by learning how much exactly I needed to stay afloat with my partner and with this condo that we have, I reduced my nursing hours, which also meant to reduce income. But then now I had more time to enroll on different courses like writing, and I was able to use that time to build on a different skill, not just nursing. So I was trying to figure out how can I become anti-fragile so I can have the option to leave the nursing industry if it was no longer working for me. And so that's what I did. I spent a whole year figuring out different ways on how to make it online, and I was able to match that part-time nursing salary with my freelance writing income, which eventually I used to be able to quit temporarily while I figured out the next steps in my life. So when you know how money works, you're able to kind of use that to gain the freedom. So that's all money is. I think it buys you time so that you can actually do things that you truly love, work on things that you really want to work on, and enjoy different experiences that you would rather be doing. When you learn how to manage your money, or when you learn how money works, you have that power to live up to your terms and not be stuck in a job that you don't really want to have, or at least have the option to leave the job if you don't like it. Even though it's so important that you make financial decisions today so that you can help your future self, it doesn't mean that you need to be so frugal today that you're no longer enjoying your life. I don't know if you ever have this feeling, but sometimes I feel really guilty spending on whether it's big purchase or a small purchase like food. Sometimes I feel guilty, and it's not a good thing. But instead of being frugal, I just became a conscious spender. This idea of conscious spending by Ramit Sethi, he has a quote that he says, "Spend extravagantly on the things you love and cut costs mercilessly on the things you don't." So that means that if you love clothes, if you love gadgets, if you love traveling, if you love eating outside in fancy restaurants, go ahead, spend money on them. But just make sure that you love doing it, that it brings you so much joy, it brings you so much fulfillment, so that you can appreciate your money. So it's very important to figure out what you love to spend on and cut down the costs and everything else. I basically gradually increased the amount of money that I spend on things that I used to spend on. So for example, I would never buy Starbucks coffee, but now I love buying Starbucks coffee because the experience and the quality of spending on a Starbucks coffee is so much better than the experience or customer service, even the taste that I get from a competitor like Tim Hortons, which is a Canadian brand if you're not familiar. But also keep note that I'm only able to do this because I've already built up the skills of budgeting, saving up, investing, and I already have my money automated. So that means that every time a paycheck comes, it is automatically put into different investment account, retirement accounts, travel fund, and all of these buckets that I have created because I've realized what's important to me, and I've just kind of figured out a way for us to save up for the future as well as enjoy what we have right now. Basically, it's just about learning where to put your money in a very intentional way so that you can not worry about the future and also enjoy the money that you're earning right now. So after I quit this bad money habit, I basically learned how to enjoy my life more, and I started to feel less guilty about my expenditures. Our travel adventures have actually been upgraded. So before we used to book the cheapest hotels, cheapest Airbnb, and now we have an upcoming Europe trip and $100 difference on 2 different places. No longer feel like I have to get the cheaper one. Now I look for the what's gonna give me the most fulfilling experience, the most fun experience on this trip, because we have budgeted for it properly. I've learned how to tell myself that we have enough for the future, we have enough for today, and that really just helps me see the big picture that I can enjoy my future as well as my present. I really think that this is important, especially if you have extra cash. If you feel like you figured out your finances, you have more money in your investment, you've maxed out your tax-free account, and now you want to actually be able to enjoy the money that you've been making, I think this is important to stop hoarding your money, even though it's difficult, but it is something that you can kind of work on mindset-wise. There's this book called Die with Zero that I'm currently reading. I haven't finished it, but basically the premise is that he is encouraging us to basically die with $0 in a bank account, and his reasoning is that your money is actually your life energy. So that means that for every money that you earn is a life energy that you have accumulated. So if you die with $100, or I guess not $0 in your account, that means that you have wasted your life energy because you didn't spend that money or converted it into a fun experience or an experience that would have made you fulfilled because you were so busy saving it up for the future. Basically, he says, like, you know, if you don't spend your money while you're alive, that means you've basically wasted your life energy. And who wants to waste their life energy? On that note, don't forget to be kind to yourself and take it one day at a time.